In this video, I'm gonna share 20 things that I did in my first year of YouTube to gain 300 subscribers. Let's be honest, YouTube can feel so unattainable at times, especially before you get started, but even while you're growing. The requirements to monetize a channel can seem so out of reach. The imposter syndrome kicks in, the fear is there, and it takes over like crazy. I always like to start with a little disclaimer because people out here be hating. I know if you look at my channel, I don't have 300 subscribers on this channel. I'm talking about my other channel that I have with my boyfriend, okay? And I also know that 300 subscribers might not seem like a lot to some people out there, but it is for me. I know that there's other channels out there that have experienced way more growth than this in 1 year, but I find that a lot of those videos talk about the really out of reach numbers for the average person, and it can feel pretty unrelatable, especially for a newbie. It can feel like
I'm never going to gain 100,000 subscribers in 1 year.
And you might. But the chances are you probably won't, and that is okay. That is the boat that a majority of people who make it on YouTube are in. A lot of people are on YouTube for years and years and years before their channel picks up momentum, and that is honestly more normal than not. So I'm creating the video that I want to see, and that is a video of a smaller YouTuber. I hate that term, but a small YouTuber sharing their success journey when it's just those smaller numbers that are really still impressive. For me, if someone told me on day one of starting my channel that they grew to 300 subscribers in their first year, I'd be like, that's incredible, because I could not even fathom doing that, and I've done it. I am just so passionate about the fact that every YouTube journey is different, and you have to find what your journey is, and it's not going to look the same as mine. It's not going to look the same as the next person's. The only way you're gonna know what your YouTube journey is when you go on that path to create it. And I know that's not the answer everyone wants to hear, but it is the truth. So no, I don't have 300 subs on this channel. This is my personal channel, my personal brand that I am committed to growing this year. My goal is to hit my first 100 subs while we are working towards our 1,000 sub goal on our other channel. But it is pretty hard running two channels, I'm not gonna lie. So my goals for this channel are a lot lower than our other channel. But that's okay, it's gonna happen. If I exceed that goal, awesome. If I don't, then I'm just gonna keep working on it, because that's what you do when you are committed to a goal. Our goal for our other channel was actually to reach our first 100 subscribers. So that's why I'm setting that as my goal for this channel, because I'm going to implement all the things I did on that channel to this channel in 2023, and I'm gonna see what kind of growth I can achieve. So I'm not just creating a video telling you about the things that I've done and what I've done in the past. I'm also doing it alongside with you again. And so this is gonna prove as if any of this stuff that I'm about to share is even helpful at all. We're gonna find out together this year, okay? So, are you ready for some growth in 2023? But first, tell me in the comments, what are your goals for your channel in 2023? How long have you been on YouTube, and what has been your biggest struggle so far? Is it the consistency, the topics to talk about? Is it fear or your mindset? Let me know in the comments, because it's so important to have support on this journey, and it's so important to show others that they're not alone in feeling these things. We all feel it, it's so normal, and it really is a part of the journey. So when it comes to what I did in 2022 to gain over 300 subscribers on our other channel, it breaks down to these 20 things. I committed to the journey. Starting our YouTube channel wasn't a if I feel like it kind of goal. I was doing it. It was decided on, I was committed, it was happening. Not only did I commit to it, I specifically committed to posting one video a week for the entire year. And I stuck to that. I think we took off New Year's week at the end of the year. We took off a week to gear up for 2023. And here we are, baby, still posting. Next was I set realistic goals and expectations. So like I said, our goal was to reach 100 subscribers. We weren't focused on getting monetized in our first year. We weren't focused on going viral in our first year. It was just to grow our first 100 subscribers of genuine like-minded people. I just honestly don't think that becoming monetized in your first year is a realistic goal. I know that a majority of people don't get monetized till just after their first year, or within their second to third year. I know that it has 100% been done before. I was just so focused on managing my expectations and creating goals that felt really achievable to me and that made me excited to work towards, because I wasn't like, oh, that's never gonna happen. Can you imagine if I set a goal for like 100,000 subscribers in my first year and then I only got 300? I would be like,
oh my God, I'm such a loser.
I mean, I think that you should celebrate any progress, but I know that it's so easy to set a goal, not reach it, and to beat yourself up. I created a game plan and I stuck to it. So each month we had our video ideas planned out. We were committed to uploading a video every Wednesday night, so that means I needed to commit to an editing day, which ended up being on Mondays, so I could work my other responsibilities and commitments around those editing days. But also having this schedule allowed me to stay consistent even when I had all these other things going on, because I made time for it, and that was when I was prioritizing it. So Mondays, I was prioritizing editing, and then I had the rest of the week to worry about all my other responsibilities and commitments. I ignored the naysayers and negativity. There's always going to be people that just don't get it or don't understand or don't support the journey that you are deciding to take. And that goes beyond YouTube. I had people saying,
it's hard to grow on YouTube, it's oversaturated, it's unachievable.
And I had the choice to listen to those things and agree and jump into the negativity, or to stay the course and know that this is the journey I'm taking, and just because someone else doesn't understand or agree or support it doesn't mean that I need to go into a pity party and be like, yeah, they're right, it is oversaturated, there's no point. Because this is my journey, this is my dream, this is my goal, this is my vision, not theirs. I had to make the decision that this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do, regardless of if anyone else agrees or supports it. I celebrated every little achievement along the way. And I feel like this is something that smaller YouTubers forget to do along the way. And this is so important, because when you are finding something every single week to celebrate, it makes it harder for you to get bogged down in how long it's taking, or how slow it's taking, or how badly that video did. Well, you have to find something every single week to celebrate and to pat yourself on the back for. Some of the videos on our channel only had 3, 5, 10 views, but I celebrated them. Some of the videos on my channel right now in 2023 only have 10 views on them, and I celebrated every single one of those 10 views, because every time I post a video online, I'm like, there's a potential that it's going to have a 0. So if it's past 0, then girl, you keep going, you keep going. That's my mentality. And maybe you think that that's crazy, but that's how I show up. That's how I stayed consistent, and I was able to post every single week for a year, because I just did no matter what was showing up for me. And every single month our channel was growing. It didn't matter what happened. Maybe one week it wasn't great, but the next week made up for that and then some. And then the next week it leveled out. The YouTube journey goes like a roller coaster, and it has peaks and valleys, and you need to learn how to celebrate when you're at the peak, but you also need to learn how to celebrate when you're at the valley, and you might not be doing your best, but there is still something there to celebrate. You just have to work a little harder to find out what it is. And this is why it's so important not to just focus on the views, because if you, maybe the views didn't go up that week, but you learned a new editing trick and your editing got 1% better, that is a win. And when I say I'm celebrating the small wins, you gotta celebrate the smallest thing. Maybe you edited a video faster than you did the week before. It's just, you have to find those wins and celebrate the F out of them. You also need to find a new skill to learn each week, no matter how big or small. Like I was saying about the editing, maybe it took you less time to edit a video because you learned 2 new shortcuts this week. That's a reason to celebrate, but you're also upskilling. So it's just like, those little things make such a big difference when you're working on it every week, and it gives you something to focus on and work towards. But it also gives you something to like mark your progress, like, oh, I learned this new thing in the editing app that I'm using. Maybe you just learned how to tell the story a little better than you did the week before. There are so many skills that we can be working towards improving as YouTubers, and I'm just constantly trying to learn a new skill or improve myself 1% each week, each video, each idea that I come up with, I'm like, how can I make this better? How can I hone in on my craft? How can I become a better YouTuber and learn the skills that are needed to make great, engaging videos? Focused on getting 1% better every single week. If you focus on 1% every single week, at the end of the 365 days a year, you're 365% better. Unless I'm doing the math wrong, because I'm really bad at math. But you're gonna be better at the end of the year. If I look at our first video on YouTube and then I look at our 130th video on YouTube, the difference is night and day. And this is another reason why consistency is king. Because think about it, if you are so inconsistent and you just upload a video in January and then you wait, you're like, oh, there's no point, YouTube's oversaturated, blah, 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 only got 10 views, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna try again in June. 6 months have passed. And then that video only gets 15 views and you're like, oh, wah, wah, wah. And then you're like, okay, you wait till November. You're like, okay, I'll jump on the wagon again. And then you get to the end of the year, you've only posted 3 videos. Versus the person that showed up each week, even when they were crappy, even when they were learning how to edit, even when their camera on their phone wasn't the greatest. They kept showing up each week, creating content, getting better, learning how to edit better, learning how to tell a story better. And they created 50 videos that year, and they posted them every single week. Who's gonna have better skills by the end of the year? The same amount of time is gonna pass, 12 months, and you're both gonna start as newbies, but one of you is gonna come out with more skill because of the consistency. So think about that when it comes to consistency. How bad do you wanna end 2023 feeling like you actually got better as a YouTuber? I leaned into inspiration over comparison. It is so easy to compare yourself these days on social media in general, like forget YouTube, and just social media in general. It is so easy to play the comparison game. But this world of social media is skewed, and it can make it look like someone has it so much easier than you. And to be honest, some people do have it so much easier than you, but that's life. And there's nothing that you can do about the fact that this is the path that you've been given. All you can do is do what you can on this path to make it what you want. Getting caught up in the comparison game and having a pity party, is that getting you any closer to the life that you want to create, to becoming a better YouTuber, to getting better at the skills? No, it's not. It's wasting your time, quite frankly. It's taking away from mental space and creativity that you could be putting into your videos and brainstorming or collaborating or learning a new skill. I had to make sure that I didn't take it personally. It didn't mean anything about me or my journey or my skills or my capabilities. I am fully capable of learning what they learned because we have a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips. So if you want to learn how to edit, you can learn how to edit for free online right now, today, on your phone. I took myself seriously and I owned what I'm trying to create. The truth is, I don't really like the term small YouTuber. I just feel like it comes from this place of lacking or not enough or you're not a real YouTuber. If you are here showing up, creating, getting better, growing, and just owning this is your journey, you're a YouTuber. You are a YouTuber, you have a YouTube account, you are uploading videos, you are working on the skills. You're a friggin' YouTuber who's working towards creating a monetized channel. Take yourself seriously. You deserve to be here. You deserve to take up space here and create something amazing, so own it. I worked on my mindset. In the beginning of the year, I invested in a mindset business coach and did a couple of things with her, and that just helped me kick off on the right foot. You don't have to invest in a coach to work on your mindset. That can come from reading books. It can come from following Instagram accounts that speak on mindset and share tips on mindset, which I do. Podcasts, I'm sure there's so many YouTube videos can help you expand and grow your mindset and help you shift your perspective into a way that's gonna allow you to progress versus like live inside your limiting beliefs. Like I said, I invested in myself and in my goals. I did not do this right away, so I don't think that it's a big contributor to me gaining those 300 subscribers. We didn't even upgrade our vlogging setup until we were pretty much almost at 300. And so I don't think that it's necessary. We could have continued on to our next 300 subs with just our phones. I think it's so possible. This isn't an iPhone, this isn't a fancy phone, this is a crappy no-name phone that no one's ever heard of, okay? So it's completely possible. We did it. Investing in yourself can mean so many things. It can mean investing your time into watching videos that help you progress and learn skills. I do want to say that consuming all these kind of videos on how to grow on YouTube and how to do this means nothing if you aren't then turning around and implementing it. So you consume, you learn, implement. You consume, you learn, you implement. Do not get stuck on the wheel of consume. Because that's not gonna get you anywhere. Invest in yourself in whatever way that feels good for you, whether that is with your time, your energy, like creating and filming, or financially. A big thing that I did, and I really was forced to do, was to plan ahead. And when I say plan ahead, I really had to plan ahead. Like I said, I am a dog sitter, so I run my dog sitting business, and I had to make sure that I had my filming days booked in advance because I didn't want my clients to book those dates. And because we're running a travel channel, we had to plan the locations well in advance. There was a lot of just logistics that went behind creating the content. I had to work that all out well in advance so that I could make room for my dog sitting business, but also make room to create and go on trips and also have a life in between all that somehow. Planning ahead what that looked like for me, on top of having an uploading schedule, an editing schedule, so I knew what days I was editing, I knew what days I was uploading, I had everything booked out, I knew what days we were gonna be away and filming, I knew what days that I would be filming for my personal channel, even though I didn't film as much on this channel. I surrounded myself with other YouTubers on and offline, and I always thought it would be so cool to have other YouTuber friends like in person, but I didn't think it was actually gonna happen, especially not in my first year. And I actually ended up connecting with another girl in Melbourne, and we became friends on Instagram, and then we've caught up a couple of times now, and it's just really cool having people like that that you know, even if it is just online. I've connected with a lot of other YouTubers that are at a similar point in their journey, and it's just really cool just cheering them on and watching their journeys and pulling inspiration from them, and just, you know, seeing them put in the work and the grind of YouTube and being able to relate to it and just not feeling so alone. I think it just makes the journey more fun. As I said before, I didn't get caught up in the fancy gear. Like, this goes back to the investing. I just didn't get caught up in the fancy gear. I didn't tell myself I needed this, I needed that. I can't start until I do this. My channel's not good until I have that. Like, no, I just worked with what I had, and it didn't have a lot. I just did it. Another thing I didn't get caught up on was the fancy banners and channel like intros and all of those kind of things.
Oh, I just don't know what to do for my intro. I need an intro.
Like, you don't need an intro to start a YouTube channel, okay? I'm sorry if you didn't know that before this moment, but don't worry about a channel banner or an intro when you can't even be consistent, okay? I also didn't let the numbers dictate my value or my worth. I celebrated every little number along the way. And the weeks that we didn't perform too well, I just focused on the next video. What can I do better? How can I improve from last week? What can I do differently? What I didn't do was let the numbers dictate whether or not I was gonna create a video next week. That's what I didn't do, and that's what I see a lot of people doing. Like, oh, this one tanked, so I'm not motivated to create a video next week. No, you're committed. Motivation has nothing to do with it, okay? You're committed, that means you show up whether or not you feel like it. Like, when I say like commitment over motivation, this leads into the next thing. I stayed the course even when my videos didn't perform well. If you're struggling with this, I want you to remember this affirmation or whatever this is. I just want you to remember these words the next time your video doesn't do well and you're not feeling motivated to create a video for the following week. I am committed to this journey even on the days where it's not going perfectly or it feels really hard. Motivation comes and goes. Commitment is going to get you through the hard days, so keep showing up for yourself. focused on improving my storytelling every single week. And this was one of the most frustrating things for me because I didn't feel like I was getting any better at it. But if I go back and watch videos, you know, from 3 months ago to now, I can see that they have gotten better. In the moment, I'm just like, oh, I'm just creating the same type of video, same type of thing. But when I go back and look, the growth is there. The reason why I thought this was so important to share is because people get invested in stories. That's just how we communicate as humans. Like, we communicate through stories. When you think back to like the cavemen, they drew the stories, they etched the little stick figures in the wall of the person getting eaten by the dinosaur or whatever, you know, the mammoth, whatever. Like, we live and breathe stories. You have to put in your 10,000 hours of practice. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master anything. So when it comes to anything, including all the skills on YouTube, you have to be willing to put in those 10,000 hours. I accepted that there were going to always be people that did not understand or support or like this journey or my choices in life. And that's okay. This is your journey. It was made for you. It was not made for them to understand. It was made for you to understand, and that is all that matters. I created content that I enjoyed making in that moment. So that's not to say that that didn't change over time. Like, here I am creating a YouTube tips video. Like, I never in a million years thought I would make a video like this. Creating videos that excite me, I feel like I am proud of them, and it doesn't matter how well they do because I'm doing things that excite me and that bring me joy. And at the end of the day, that's gonna carry you way further than trying to please the algorithm and just doing it for the sake of doing it. That's the quickest way to lead to burnout. I just personally believe when you create content that you're passionate about, that you love making, that shines through. Okay, I feel like that was a lot of talking, like my throat hurts. To be honest, this is the third video I'm filming today, so I gotta wrap this up. Okay, but let me know, was this helpful for you? If you did find value in it, please let me know by hitting the like button or leaving some feedback in the comments below, because I am feeling so passionate about talking about this topic right now and just sharing my journey and what I'm learning and the things that have helped me, and just hopefully empowering more people to start their channel and to grow a channel and to enjoy the process. So if you want to see more videos like this, I am working on a YouTuber inspo series. So I'm gonna sprinkle a few of these kind of videos around and hopefully have a little playlist going. So consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in another video soon.